Well, can you explain a little bit what started happening on Josephine Street when Pluck was selling heroin and Telly had asked him to move? I don't really know because, like I say, I wasn't selling drugs at the time. I was working. So when I was getting off of work one day, Pluck come up to me. Objection, hearsay, sustained. Let's talk about this a little bit, Anthony. You went to jail for a brief period of time, or 2.5 years, and when you got out, you started working? Yeah. Did you continue to deal drugs while you were working during that time period? Shortly after I started working, then I had Dernie selling drugs for me. Okay. Shortly thereafter, were you still selling cocaine? It started off. When I started back, it was with heroin. Why did you start dealing with heroin? It was a little quicker money at the time. That was really what was going on. So I was trying to mess with the heroin because that's what I was dealing with in my area at the time where I was at. You said, I'm sorry, did you say something about Dernie was doing it with you? Yeah, he was selling it for me while I was at work. So can you walk us through that a little more? How did that work? Would you buy the heroin? Yeah, I would buy it. Who did you have sell the heroin for you? Dernie. Why did you have Dernie sell the heroin for you? Because I was at work. I was working. Did you ever have a conversation with Telly about allowing Dernie to sell your heroin? At one time, I had talked to Telly about it. That's when they had got into it. Who got into it? It was Telly and Pluck. Brian got into it. So they hanging around Dernie. And so, you mean Pluck hanging around Dernie? Yeah, Pluck was hanging around Dernie. So it was kind of like, I was trying to tell him like Dernie's doing business with me, so kind of exclude him from what he got going on with them. That was the conversation right there. Were you trying to help Dernie not get involved in any issues Pluck was having with Telly? Right. Who did you have that conversation with? Telly. Why? Because I was trying to get him to not hurt, get Dernie in trouble with them, because I knew he was after them, Where did that conversation take place? By his mama's house. At Shirley's house? Yes. Was her house on Josephine Street at that time? Yes. Who was a part of that conversation? The first time it was Bo out there and George. Those who were friends with Telly? Yes. Did you know them too? Yes. Had you ever gotten drugs from Bo, or you said it was Bo and who? I got drugs from George one time. How much did you get from George? Like 2 1/4, something like that. Something small. When you had that conversation with Telly, what was Telly's response to you? He was just like brush me off, cut me off, like he didn't want to hear it. What do you mean? What did he do? He just was like as I'm talking to him, he shook his head like no. So how did that conversation end? Pretty much like that, like I'm gonna holler at you. Were you still on good terms with Telly? Not really. Why not? I guess because being around there, he didn't know. I was working, but he didn't know that Dernie is selling drugs for me. So when I used to be around there and Pluck and Dude pull up and there are people going back telling him like I'm being around them, so he didn't. You know what I'm saying? He didn't trust me. So that's how the relationship was kind of shaky. So are you familiar with the time when Pluck had gotten shot? Yeah. What you're talking about when you had this conversation with Telly about Dernie, was this before or after Pluck had been shot? It was after he had been shot. Were you out of jail during the time when Pluck was shot? Yes. Did you actually see that shooting when Pluck got shot the first time? No. Did you see Pluck immediately following that shooting? After, yes. Where did you see him? I went and saw him in the hospital. Did you see him at all at 2011 Josephine Street when he was actually shot? Yeah, I saw him in the house. Can you tell us about that? What did you see? He was just laying there. Where were you when the shooting happened? I was inside. Inside where? 2009. So you were next door? Uh-huh. So how did you hear about the shooting? Just heard the shots. Did the shooting happen near 2009 Josephine Street? Yeah, on the corner. When you heard the shots, what did you do? Just got up, went to the front door, looked out the window, saw everybody coming outside, so everybody went outside. At some point, did Pluck run inside to 2011? Yes. Did you get to go into 2011 when Pluck was there? Yeah, when he opened the door, I went inside. Where was he shot? I think in the leg, in the stomach area. What kind of condition was he in at that time? He was all right. He was talking? Uh-huh. Was the ambulance on the way? Yes. Did you call the police? No. Did you talk to Pluck at that time while he was in the house? I ain't really talked to him. Was he bleeding? Yes. Did you ask him who shot him? No. Did he say anything about who shot him? No. Objection, hearsay? No. Overruled? No, not at that time. Then he went to the hospital that night? Yeah. He was there for quite a while? Yes. So it was after that incident happened that you went and had a conversation with Telly about Durney? Yes. Now, was Durney good friends with Pluck and Doodoo? Yes. Was Doodoo also a victim in that shooting we just talked about? Yes. Did you speak to him that night? No. One moment, Your Honor. Were you aware of a second time when Doodoo got shot? Yes. Were you witness to that shooting? No. You spoke to Doodoo afterward? No. You never talked to him about that? Uh-uh. So what was Durney doing during this whole time frame when his friends were getting shot up? Durney was in jail the first time. The second time he was out there. When you had that meeting with Telly, did he tell you anything about you should watch yourself? No. Did he ever tell you that? No. Did there come a time when you actually thought that Telly was trying to kill you? 2 times. Let's talk about those times. On the first time that happened, explain the circumstances. One night, I was out with a friend of mine, Michael Fontaine, and we were riding up the street, and we pulled over to get some weed. And Bo's truck pulled up, and when it pulled up, Mike got out of the passenger side and saw the truck and took off running. Telly jumped out, opened my passenger door, put a gun on the seat, just was looking in the truck. I spoke. He spoke and he say, I'm trying to see what's up. And he closed the passenger door and was walking around the front hood of the truck. I jumped out the driver's side and met him at the front of the truck, and he kind of cocked the gun and opened his jacket and showed me another gun. And I'm like, what's up, bro? What's happening? He was like, I'm trying to see what's up. And right then and there, a police car spun the corner. We walked off and the truck pulled off because the police was behind the truck that he was in. So the truck kept going. Both trucks kept going. The police went about their business. And I asked Telly, I said, what's up? Where are you going to be at? Because I wanted to talk to him about what just happened. He's like, I'm going to be in the hood. And that was that. What did you think was going to happen? That he was going to kill me. When you were still in your car and he opened up the passenger door, what did he say to you? He was like, what's up? Was anybody else in your car? Uh-huh. Who were you with? Michael Fontaine. He took off running? Yes. After that incident happened, what did you do? I pulled off and followed the truck. We met up on the interstate right there by Orleans Parish Jail, where they have the 2-lane sign at, and we was on the shoulders talking. I jumped out. I just asked him, like, what the hell's that about, you know? Why would you do that if you thought he was just about to kill you? Well, you know, that's how much love I had for the people that was around that was in that truck and him. So I went to him. Even though Telly wasn't in that truck, I still asked the driver. I'm like, man, what was that about? Who was the driver? Bo. What did he say to you? He said, I don't know, man. You go talk to Wild, you know. He was saying, talking about Telly. I already talked to him about that. I said, all right, man. I pulled off. I left. So you just used a nickname. Does Telly have a nickname? Yeah, that was one of his nicknames. What is it? Wild. Wild? Uh-huh. What's another nickname? They called him Third Ward.